Good morning, collective. I'm here for a message. I have a message. Okay, so I woke up this morning with a message about like spiritual warfare, right? And the it was like I woke up coming out of a battle, right? And I could see it was like like two energies coming up like to each other. It's almost like I don't know, when you see like on the movies or whatever, where people are fighting with sticks and they're like jumping up into the air and hitting sticks. So like, like this. Um, and what it what came to my mind was the retaliations for what um, what I've been putting out there, like with the and I will specifically say the um, generational curse breaker videos. And so what I got from it was like there's a group of people from an organization, a coven, or a church, a group, family, or this could be like many, right? Coming up against. Sorry, I shouldn't look away because I know that people have trouble hearing me, right? Um, the So coming up against what is being expressed or exposed. We can use either one of those words. I just got 222 on the clock there. So these people from this organisation are coming together and they are like doing ritual chanting or like what they see as prayers against me, but possibly the collective as well, because you're out there doing the same thing, right? So like so the chants or prayers, they'll call it prayers most likely, against the collective, speaking out. And it's because they are, their ego's getting in the way because they see themselves as authorities in the spiritual world, and also because of the exposure of them not being open, like real children of God are open, like open book. There's no, there's no, there's no hiding anything. Everything is what it is, right? So there's no bullshit. And so anyway, the other day I did a reading and I was talking about how like when people like return to sender, when people are projecting negative energy onto you, returning and returning to sender is like it's a battle. Like we're in a battlefield, right? And when you return the same negativity back, I was talking about how it becomes like a tennis game, like it's a game where it goes back and forth, and so it doesn't dissolve, it doesn't fix anything, it doesn't serve any purpose, right? Apart from hurts a lot of people. It hurts people, right? Spiritually, that's the intent. Some of us, but if you're on the right side of things, it doesn't affect you. So these people are doing spell projections to affect the collective's finances, stability, health, all those kinds of things. But so what I wanted to say is that those things aren't working because I'm not being affected at all by your so-called prayers or chants within your group, because you believe that you're in a group of many, that your projections are more powerful, but they're not, right? Like, so somebody standing on, and this is the big issue is that they cannot handle the thought that the collective are sovereign and can stand on their own in good standing with God because of that faith, because the collective have proved faith by actually standing sovereign in this society, this society as an organization, this society as a empire. So because the collective have shifted outside of that and are sovereign and can produce stability on their own without having to be connected to any group or coven, because a lot of these people that believe that they are like in righteous order because they work for the order, which is a demonic entity. A lot of these powers that be and a lot of these people that are preaching to know God and to be with God work for the devil. The devil came to me himself the other day, and I was on my walk, and he made his presence be known, and he asked me to ask him a question. Did I have a question? And I said, yeah. It probably wasn't what he expected because he didn't have an answer for me. It was, why does the devil consistently work on destruction when it ends in nothing for everybody? So working outside of the natural law is of the devil, right? Because outside of the natural law and the organizations, the powers that be, they work against natural law with exploitation of resources and human resources. They even sort of call it human resources. We are commodities, right, in this society, unless you can be outside and be sovereign. So anyway, I think even the devil, has to question that. Like, why are they hell-bent on destroying so much or changing everything so much in nature to, like it's almost like clearing away the nature to allow nothingness to be there. So what else is there, right? Because everything is a creation of God. So God is everything that was, is, and will ever be, right? And even the devil. So God is all those things. So with the devil being hell-bent on destroying everything by over-consuming, leads to nothing. So overconsumption, like eating everything at once and then having nothing left in the fridge for the rest of the week. It's like that. But we're talking about eternity here. You know, that never-ending cycle of life. So anyway, these groups of people are projecting against the collective, the chosen collective that actually have the messages, right? The direct messaging. So they're sitting there saying their prayers in positions of power with their groups of people, projecting loss on the collective, right? Projecting failure, loss, illness, financial ruin, everything, right? Homelessness, all those things that they're projecting on the collective. But I've said this before. If you're spending all your time projecting negativity on someone else, it will come back to you. You know, what goes around comes around. That is part of natural law. That's just the normal cycle of things. This is just how it works. So you're projecting. So the collective aren't projecting. They're just doing their own thing, right? Not projecting any energies. They may be speaking out about realities of the world, of our society and how it's developed, but it's not an individual projection onto any one person. There's no projection to any harm to be put on any person. It's about healing all, not projecting negativity onto anybody. You know, it's about healing people, being able to move on from things, not bottling everything up and making people sick because of past things, right? So anyway, I got a couple of I wrote down a couple of prayers from Psalms here in relation to this. So I pulled out Psalms 83, prayer to frustrate conspiracy, right? Those believed against Israel. But so he who said, let us take for ourselves the pastures of God for a possession. So these groups of people, claim to be of God and to be following God's word, actually have no faith whatsoever, because they are so consumed with being in power and they don't follow those rules of working with God and having faith in being guided and being provided for by God as life comes to us, right? Like as nature provides. They want to possess it, and that's what I mean about the devil wanting to take all the resources and keep it for them as a possession for themselves. And this is what it says here, like, let us take for ourselves the pastures of God for a possession. That's not what God, and so it is wanting us to do, right? Like, so, oh God, take them like the whirling dust, like the chaff before the wind as the fire burns the woods. Now, the other day when I was talking about that, like when people are projecting those negative intents towards the collective in an attempt to discredit and demonize and wish ill intent on, right? And so I was saying, like, not to engage in that tennis racket type thing where you return to sender. I mean, yes, we return to sender what we project. I think this kind of works naturally anyway with God, because that's part of the natural law, right? It's the natural cycle of things. But I was talking about like not wishing those ill intents back onto those people, but like as it says here in this Psalms 83, verse 12. Oh my God, take them like the whirling dust, like the chaff before the wind. So I was talking about like departicularizing. So when you get that ball of negative energy being projected towards you, it's then like wishing that it just departicularizes and blows out into the wind like as dust, and so then it becomes ineffective. Like it's not, like it doesn't have the power as it does like in a ball, in a mass. So like these people are sort of like coming together in prayer in churches and whatnot to project negative energy because they hate spirituality, right? And which makes no sense. But this is the whole intent on religion, is actually to demonize religion. Demonize true spirit. Demonize the spirit, right? Spirituality, spirit, demonize spirit. Anyway, we don't want to be projecting the same energy back to them. We want to dissolve it, okay? So, like, again, I'm going to say it again. Oh my God, take them like the whirling dust, like the chaff before the wind, as the fire burns the wood. So, fire burns the wood, it dissolves it into smoke. It becomes ineffective. The mass dissolves, okay? And now we've got Psalm 7, prayer, the praise for deliverance from enemies, verse 14. The wicked brings forth iniquity. He conceives trouble and brings falsehood. So this is what they've been doing, right, with their projections. Like lying and being deceptive, not being open, being defensive, and blaming whatever is happening onto the collective, like it's their fault for what they've done. You know what I mean? The collective haven't actually done anything towards anybody. Apart from speak out. But there's no negative projections towards anybody. Okay, verse 15. He made a pit and dug it out and has fallen into the ditch which he made. So if you're negatively projecting bad juju on people, like wishing that they come down financially, wishing homelessness on them, wishing their downfall in whichever way, health, whatever, then you're digging the pit for yourself, okay? Trouble shall fall on his own head, verse 16. Trouble shall fall on his own head. So you're coming together in a church or organisation, in a group of people, to chant, like you think you're praying and you're chanting. This is actual spell work. This is doing spells, projecting onto the collective. You see what you're doing? And this is why you're falling. You can't blame the collective on what what you've done by pulling people together to project lies and hatred and downfall and whatever it is you've projected on to the collective through hatred. This is, you've made the pit, you've dug the pit for yourself, and now you're going to fall in it. And like, that's just the way it is. That's the natural law, God's law. Because remember, God created everything, right? God is the past, the present, and the future. All that is, all that was, and all that will ever be. Okay. So trouble shall fall on his own head, whatever you project out there. Okay. So I'm going to leave that little message here, and I hope you have a lovely day. Yeah, okay. I'll see you in the next one.